Do you like good food? Because I like really good food.
I do like
You like good food. So how do you judge a good restaurant?
I judge a good restaurant, first of all, by the service.
Okay.
But two, I love spices and I love the ingredients that go into things and having a different flair on, you can go to a Chinese restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and a Cuban restaurant, but I love when they do like a spin on the traditional types of food because it's a new experience. And what
do they call that? There's a name for that, right? Is it a fusion or it's like, when they mix the two up?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Latin fusion. Every restaurant.
One of my favorite restaurants in Vegas is Chino Poblano, and it's like Mexican food plus Chinese.
I was like, I've never been to a Chinese Mexican place.
Yeah.
Wait till you see this place.
So you like spices, you like mix, you like fusion.
Yep.
What else?
Well, I think that is a big part of it, is making sure that you've got this experience. Because people go out for food, and if you're going out, it's not just the food. You're going out for the experience.
Have you ever gone to a restaurant for the first time and then walked out 30 seconds into it? Have you gone to a restaurant, you walk and you're like, I'm looking at Yelp. Let's go check this place out. Okay, and you go to this place and all of a sudden you're like, guys, we got to get out of here.
I've done that.
So how do we judge it, though? That's based on what? That's based on no one's there during lunch.
Yeah.
Right? So you judge a restaurant many times based on if you're the only customer there at a restaurant during, prime time, there is something wrong with this restaurant, right? Okay.
I feel like you're going somewhere with this.
I want to take what you're saying and say, okay, fine. Let's listen to what Florida is doing wrong and what's going on over here and, all this other stuff, how terrible the state has been under DeSantis and all this other stuff. Okay, sounds good. From 2020, if you go to 2022 today, I lived in LA 20-some years. I lived in Dallas 5 years. I was in the Army, so I lived all over the place. And I've been here for a little over a year and a half. Since the guy's taken office, no matter how much they've tried to trash this guy, everybody keeps moving here. This place is busy. People are coming here from East Coast, from New York, from Baltimore, from DC, from Chicago, from LA, from all over the place. They're coming here. California is losing people. They're first net negative since 1851. New York's losing people. No matter what they say, they're losing people. This place flipped from purple to red. So for someone that just may be a data person, they may say, Nikki, it's great that you have those bullet points that you go through with the messaging you're saying, but the data simply doesn't back you up. The data says they're doing a great job in Florida. What do you say to those people?
First of all, you kind of look at Florida for a couple of reasons. People don't come here because of DeSantis.
I did.
Did you?
I did, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. I want you to finish, but I did.
But they come here because the beautiful weather, because of our beaches, because of the diversity of our state. They come here because there's no income tax. And so all of those things, and during the pandemic, there was an influx here to the state, absolutely. But the problem is that now that the people are here, we have no infrastructure. There was no planning of exactly how we're going to expand out our state. I mean, look at today. We have tremendous amount of rain. Now, born and raised here in Miami, this is not a storm. This is a rain event.
We're used to this. This is
a regular
rain event.
This is Saturday. Yeah.
But I was talking to the mayor earlier today and some of our city and county commissioners, and there's flooding everywhere. There's flooding everywhere, and there's cars being abandoned, and there's no infrastructure. There's no money. There's been no conversation about how to make sure when all these people are moving into our state, how we're taking care of the people that are actually living in our state.
I get that. But so that to me then becomes step 3. But step 1 is, hey, we're attracting all this talent. If you have a company that you're recruiting a lot of best engineers that want to come to you, you're doing something right. Then all of a sudden you get 3,000 new employees that are coming to your company. Now you're like, listen, guys, we need 16 HR people. We need software. We need this. We need that. We need coaching. We need all this stuff. But step number 1 is, why do we get 3,000 engineers? Because when you said something like, people are now moving to Florida for DeSantis, well, then perfect. So let me flip it on you. Why are people leaving a beautiful state like California? Are they leaving because of the weather is so bad? Are they leaving because the beach is so bad? I was just in LA last week. The weather is sick. There's so many reasons to stay in California. People left California because of Newsom. And many people came to Florida because of DeSantis. The NBA, I remember when when the COVID first started, everybody was talking about Florida. I cannot believe but at the Breakers, we weren't living here yet. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. And then the NBA, Black Lives Matter. Awesome. Where are you guys doing your playoffs? Florida. Wait, what?
Orlando.
The state you bashed You can only do your playoffs in one state. So again, going back to it, I know you're saying infrastructure, but wouldn't you agree, like at a time like this when you're running, the guy has done so many things right where a lot of people across the country or families, they have kids, they're sitting there saying, at least this guy's got backbone. Because if his policies were bad, why would people move to Florida? It wouldn't just be the weather. The guy's done a lot of good policies. And I feel whether you guys have some areas you agree with or not, of course, he's going to say some stuff that he says about you when somebody asked him on when he was doing the town hall meeting, she's just doing what she's doing on social media. He made the comments about you. I'm sure you saw that. And you made comments about him. And I know you know the comments because you've talked about, we'll get into that here in a minute as well. But wouldn't you give him a little bit of credit of what he's done in Florida the last couple of years?
Look, I have said very clearly, when COVID hit, COVID hit, and I had actually called on him to close down the state early because I knew that if we closed down the state early, that we would be able to get open earlier and that we'd be able to save lives.
Nope.
He sat down and didn't do.
Nope, that wouldn't have happened though, Nikki. I gotta just jump in on that. Let me just jump in on this for 1 second because I very much appreciate your perspective, but I am that person that fled New York City. I love my city. I love New York City. I was there my whole life, the last 20 years. I did come here because of DeSantis. I was looking at different states. I was looking at states that were fighting for people's individual freedoms. I have a 2-year-old. I was very, very bogged down in New York City by not just the crime, by the fact that the police force felt unsupported, but by the mandates and by the restrictions and the lockdowns. And I felt like so much of that stuff was being thrown out there to try to control people. And there wasn't science that backed any of those policies. And what you saw here, at first, I looked from afar, but what you saw here was a guy who, and I'm not a Republican, I'm an independent, and I'm not someone who has a loyalty to politicians. If DeSantis does something I don't like, I'll be the first person to call him out on that. But I saw a guy who kept the state open.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.